Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Bizarre and the Unknown. Today we're going to talk about the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. Um, used to we used to do big cookouts in Oklahoma for a biker chapter that on where yeah, it was a good time. I still don't know what's going on with this little queue things. They're set up, supposed to work. I don't know. Hey Penny, what's going on? No, it hasn't yet. Oh, yep, there goes it. It worked that time. Roxanne. There you go. All right. I tried it and didn't work, and it's supposed to work for me too. So, but yeah, I'm still working on this. Still trying to play with this thing and try to get new stuff set up where we can do things. So, but yeah, this was a pretty good subject. It's been one I want been that I'm wanting to do for. Come on, you chat thing. There it goes. By golly, George, that thing didn't want to pop up. That I've been wanting to do for a while. Surprisingly enough, it was really easy to actually get information, man. I got like 20 pages of stuff on here. So, I mean, it came out really good. So, that poll thing still ain't working right, too. Huh. At least not from what I can see. Hey, Ozzy Sue. Um, you need a puppy fix today? Yeah, I got a puppy that's up my butt all the time. Uh, but yeah, I got like 20 of notes on this. It's an interesting subject because I've always been the one that was under the or always thought that the Mokèlé-mbèmbé was a dinosaur. Um, you listen to the descriptions, long neck, spikes down the back, and all that. It pretty much tells you that's what this is. Um, so I don't know. It's definitely. I mean, you hear a lot of stories on it. It tells you that. Why is this thing not going? Oh, he'll be in my lap in a second, Penny. He will. He'll be in my lap in a second. So to kind of go over some of the stuff here, it's a the term Mokèlé-mbèmbé means one who stops the rivers. Um, is a legendary water dwelling creature of the Congo River. It is sometimes described as a living creature, sometimes as a spirit, and loosely it's a lot like the Loch Ness monster in that aspect. Um, some cryptozoologists claimed it to be a sauropod, and that was that term I was trying to remember the other day, a sauropod. Um, I haven't found any new documentaries on it for about a year. Love this. So yeah, I mean it's a fascinating subject, and not a lot of people talk about. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, I guess I missed you. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're there. Hey, Jessica, how's it going? Um, but this is really cool, because I've always had it there, and you've heard me talk about it several times that I'm a firm believer the asteroid did not destroy the dinosaurs. Did it kill a lot of them off? Yes. Did it destroy them? No. There's too many cryptid type creatures out there. Too many stories for a very long time. If you listen to them, they sound or they describe a dinosaur, and that's kind of what we're doing here with the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. According to traditions of the Congo River Basin, the Mokèlé-mbèmbé is a large terrestrial herbivore. It is said to dwell in Lake Tili and the surrounding area with a preference for deep water and with local folklore holding that it hunts. Excuse me, haunts of choice is a river bends, or is that river bends? Yeah, some of these are working, some of them not. I don't know what's going on with that Roxy, and I got to play with it more. Descriptions in the Mokèlé-mbèmbé vary. Some legends describe it as having an elephant-like body with a long neck and tail and a small head. As description, which is has bigger been suggested to be the similar in the appearance of the extinct sauropod. And sauropod was what I was trying to think of every time I've talked about this because I couldn't remember the name of that dinosaur. Um, it's Hey Ida, how's it going? So it's, I mean, it really does fit it. I mean, I don't know how else to put it because that's what it is. That's what I was always trying to remember was a sauropod. I always kept wanting to call it something else, which was a type of long neck. It was a smaller long neck, but it was a type of long neck. Uh, Lost where I was there for a second. In contrast, others describe it more closely resembling elephants, rhinoceroses, and other known animals. It is usually described as being gray brown in color. Some traditions, such as the Boa village, describe it as a spirit rather than flesh and blood creature. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Huh. Yeah, man, I'll keep playing with it. I worked on a little bit today, Roxanne. I'm still learning this new system. Um, the search for the Mokèlé-mbèmbé is not just a historical pursuit, but a subject of ongoing interest and debate. In the field of cryptozoology, numerous expeditions have been undertaken to Africa in search for the legendary creature, and the quest of um continues. During these expeditions, cryptozoologists have argued that some sightings involved an unidentified dinosaur like creature. Oh, stupid mouse. Additionally, there have been several specific Mokele-mbembe hunting expeditions, indicating the ongoing interest of efforts in uncovering the truth behind this legend. The quest that continues to engage and inspire researchers and enthusiasts alike. And I can agree with that because it does me. I mean, it's one of those that is very, very intriguing for me. Um, I've always was fascinated with this, just like I have been with Nessie. Nessie's another one I've been very, very fascinated with because it once again goes back to the dinosaur aspect of it. So we won't worry about the hoo haws for now, Roxanne. It doesn't seem to be working. It seems to work on some and not the others. This one here I know worked the other day, but for some reason it's just I don't know what's going on with it. We'll just I'll just have to type stuff in there. Uh, so the appearance, this is one of the most common appearances I've found so far. That's why I put this in the notes. Descriptions of the Mokele-mbembe made by Baka people in the Cameroon describe generally as a large bodied quadruped with a long neck and tail and small head. The Mokele-mbembe is most often identified by alleged eyewitnesses with illustrations of sauropods, such as a brontosaurus, um, apatosaurus, and a diplopodus. Um, Seeing that one there worked. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it has to take time. I don't know. It has been compared to an enormous pangolin and has twice been called a giant crocodile, albeit in herbivorous crocodile. It is generally said to be a large animal, although its exact size varies by count and location, which would make sense because if there's actually a family of these, there'd be different sizes, just like all these other ones that describe it as being something else. When somebody fears something and it's stuck in your head, this is what this is. I mean, take the big W, the big Wendigo, for instance. Um, Edie David Coe went to the Congo searching for let me pop that up here. Mokele-mbembe and has cues on Rogan talking about it, and GN found it and said it had a 40-foot long neck. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I put it in the brontosaurus range right there. Woo. That would definitely put it in the brontosaurus range if it's got a 40-foot long neck. Um, but a lot of these other ones describing it all, it could be a crocodile, it could be a rhinoceros, a hippo, elephant, blah 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 blah. That could be just people's fear. I mean, like when we're talking like the Wendigo, a lot of people would tell you that the Wendigo has horns. Well, if you actually study the true tradition of the Big W, it don't have horns. Um, so um, we could be dealing with the same thing with this Mokèlé-mbèmbé. On all honesty, that could be what happened, and that happens a lot. We don't know enough in this field of study to tell you exactly how something looks. We can only go off of encounters and personal experiences. So this is something we have to consider when we're dealing with this stuff. Um, yeah, I lost my spot there. Should put my little mouse on there and highlighted it. It is generally said to have a large, is to be a large animal, although it exists or exact size varies by account and locations, except for the tradition account, which describes it as a hippo-sized. It is certainly larger than a hippopotamus and was first described as being about the size of a forest elephant. Accounts from Cameroon describe it as it being much larger, often exceeding an elephant in size. Some Baka informants interviewed by Bill Gibbons failed to recognize a drawing of a Mokèlé-mbèmbé from a living dinosaur simply because it was barely larger than a human included on for scale. The neck is so long um, and generally slender, as thick as a man's thigh. The comparatively small head is usually compared to a snake, a lizard, or tortoise, with nostrils placed on the front of the snout. So that's something we got to show be there too. Uh, they showed a pic of to people of different animals, and when they came across the beast, they all pointed and said right there. Yeah, they did that when you on River Monsters. I believe it. No, it may have been Expedition Unknown, or it might have been River Monsters. One of the two. They were in there talking about it. No, it was River Monsters, and he was going through a bunch of photos of stuff, and then they came across that one I was talking about with the spines down the back, and they said Mokèlé-mbèmbé. They pointed to it and said that's what it was. So that's something we got to consider here. I mean, this is the people who deal with it on a daily basis. Even though mainstream science will tell you, and mainstream archaeologists will tell you that something's extinct. Look how many times every single day that mainstream stuff is proven wrong. There's fish that's been supposed to be extinct for 1,000,000 years, and they go to these people way out in the middle of nowhere, doesn't have touch with, very little touch with Western civilization, and they go, no, these things we eat these every day. They're delicious. And then they'll go in and look at their catches, and sure as crap, they're right there. So you can't ever go off of what mainstream science or archaeologists or historians or any of them tell you, because they're going to tell you what they're told to tell you. And when you go to these countries like this, and you go and see these people that are dealing with this stuff every single day, they're going to have a better understanding and a better knowledge of what's out there than the people who sit in an air conditioned office all day, and then every once in a while they go out so they can get their credits, and then they're proven wrong. He said all the critters were huge in the Congo, gigantic. I wonder if there is an ionized radiation in the Congo. That is a possibility, but you also got to consider this too. Woo, excuse me. Look how much vegetation is there, so you got a lot more oxygen. It's a lot purer oxygen there in the Congo. The Congo has a ton of vegetation. So can it be producing enough of oxygen to support a large population of animal like that, where other places where the forests have been cut down so much caused the animals in that location to evolve into a smaller status to be able to live off the type of oxygen that we have in that area. I mean, we know that everything adapts overcomes to their environment. So if you got a lot more pure oxygen levels in the Congo, it could that could support a bigger creature. Then there you go. Yes, yes. Like the vapor canopy back in the day, everything was bigger and more. Yeah, I mean, look at all the tree stumps you see. That's miles. I mean, freaking miles long. That they're telling you is plateau. When you actually study them and you get up top and you see the rings on top of it, it's a freaking tree. So that whenever we talk about cloud eaters, you can understand why at one time our planet could sustain giants that were miles tall because we had vegetation that was that big and our oxygen was so much more pure and so much more better that it didn't take near as much to, you didn't have to have like huge nostrils to be able to breathe. You can have little bitty nostrils and you breathe it because it provided you with enough oxygen. So, and that's the thing you got to consider there in the Congo too. I mean, you look, the Congo is like a triple canopy jungle, if I remember correctly, a minimum triple canopy jungle. So it's thick. It is like extremely thick, and there's so much vegetation. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of water that could sustain a large creature. I mean, it really, really could sustain a large creature. So, I mean, absolutely, that is definitely within the possibility. I'm hoping I didn't say miss anybody. If you've came in and I've missed you, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. Um, they also went along the river side. They said it could be possibly the beast went to hide along it, but where they say was covered up. Yeah, yeah. Well, and you got to consider too. So take it this way: we've talked about this several times. DNA and M's. A lot of people has talked about this. Anybody who's hunted, I mean, who's the hunters in my chat? I want to know my hunters in my chat because you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm a hunter. I love to hunt. I really do. I love every aspect about hunting. Hunting is a very sacred deal to me, but I love hunting. I am very good. I can see things that that is hard to see. Hey, Twisted, how's it going? Um, but I can tell you now, I've literally had deer just a couple feet in front of me, and did not know it was there until I almost walked on it and it ran off. I'm talking about 5 or 6 feet. I'm talking about 5 or 6 feet in front of me. There was a deer staying still because it seen me coming, and I didn't see it until about the time when I almost stepped on it, or I got close enough that I could have tapped its ass. That's when it ran off. While we're on the Congo, have you seen the 1995 movie Congo about the apes? I believe that yes, that was a they were just trained by the locals there to protect them, and they turned against them. At the movie, yeah, there it's. I believe there it is. I really believe it is a talk about it because there's proof that them apes still exist there in the Congo. I mean, it really did. It really does suggest it. The color of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé is usually said to be gray, brown, or reddish, although often described as a smooth skin in Cameroon. It is said to have thick armor-like scales, something like the scotus of a back of the back of the crocodile. Um, According to several of the ballots informations, the Mokèlé-mbèmbé back is sometimes carpeted with greenery with when it emerges from the river, drawn by the Baka people, depicts it as relatively long, slender, pointed digits. However, similar cryptids such as the Daji river monster and the Mokèlé-mbèmbé are described as having flippers like limbs. So those are more like the. Hey Ryan, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, that's what we was talking about. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Ron. Yeah, that is. I believe that movie. They made that movie for a reason, and there's a lot of stuff coming out in cryptozoology now, let alone some of the other things that suggest that those types of apes still exist. Now, question to you guys on that, and I know this is off topic for a second, but is that an actual ape that they trained, or is that a type of Bigfoot? Because we know there's different types all over the world. So the Billy ape. I know they said I think what was Josh Gates that found one. Someone found one not too long ago. But I question, could it be a type of Bigfoot and not actually an ape like we're thinking? I'm gonna butcher that name there, Ryan. Crichton was a science nerd. He was big on paleontology, zoology, and cryptozoology. Yeah. Yes, I mean there you go. I'm one of those that believe that that was actually a type of Bigfoot. The Billy ape is actually a type of Bigfoot. I know a lot of them will tell you that it's a type of gorilla, but I'm think or a type of ape, but I'm one of those that suggest or that follows along the line. It's a type of Bigfoot. I mean, the fact that the stuff that it can do that the other apes cannot do, and what it did to the people that lived in that area. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, it's definitely in that realm of possibility. It's said to have spines or horns are sometimes mentioned, and the characteristics first appeared in Stain's original description, in which they referred to a horn or a single tooth. Oh, are they? I didn't know that part, Ryan. Oh, now that I do think about that, you're right. I'm trying to remember who it was that actually found one. Huh. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I recall somebody actually firing one. So that would make sense then. Billy apes are a type of chimp. That they've DNA tested it and verified it. And The Rock has a new movie coming out for the holidays called Red. One looked up. Trailer looked pretty good and funny. Evil Snowman, Krampus, and other stuff. Yeah, I used to be a big Rock fan, but the crap he's doing, I've really kind of started leaning away. Thanks, Penny. Four more likes to catch up. Thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, hit that like. If you guys haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Let's build this amazing, bizarre, known universe. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, for the very first time today, we are live on Twitch as well. I was able to get a Twitch account set up earlier, so I'm trying that out as well. So I'm actually live right now on Twitch, X, and YouTube. I'm not doing lives on Facebook. Facebook is getting to be too much of a pain in the butt, so that's why I ventured away from them. So right currently, as of the first time today, we're live on Twitch. Let's go ahead and get into behaviors. I've talked enough about the description. There's still a couple more paragraphs go on that, but usually reported from rivers, but sometimes from the forest. The Mokèlé-mbèmbé is ambitious, allegedly spending much of its time in the water, where it is said to flee for safety. It is capable of hiding underwater like a hippopotamus. Its great bulk creates prominent wakes and gives the impression that the river is flowing backwards. When it rises from the water, although only its head and neck are often seen when it is swimming, when it emerges from the water, it does so. It does so back first. Oh, that goes back. Yeah, it sometimes is claimed to inhabit caves in the riverbank, which are either neutral or dug out by an animal. Female Mokèlé-mbèmbés allegedly rear their young in nests constructed in the swamp. Some Baka claim that it is capable of rearing up on its hind legs to feed, and that is sometimes it digs out channels. It is generally said to be oh man, I'm going to butcher the hell out of that word. Surfacuscular, yeah, whatever, and nocturnal, coming out of the water to feed at dusk. Sightings are most commonly reported during the morning and the evening. Yep, Twitch. J.K. Simmons. Yeah. Um, Chris Evans. What did I miss here? Thank you, Ryan. Yes, that's Doctor Cleve Hicks is one who found a billy ape. I knew they were found not too long ago, within the last couple of years, if I remember correctly. Um, and the last time Josh Gates had went hunting for him one time, and if I remember correctly, they think they caught an image of one on a game cam. So I mean, all the stuff here that they told was extinct. That they're right here. Once again, mainstream science, historians, and archaeologists are proven wrong. Yet again. Don't worry, man. I'm learning it too. It's a different deal. It is. It's really different there, Twisted. I mean, but we're trying it. Um, the Mokèlé-mbèmbé is almost always described as entirely herbivore, plant eater, on terrestrial feeding on terrestrial plants and aquatic vegetation. Since 1913, it is said to feed primarily on the apple-like fruits of the Molimbo a species of, and here we go with Latin crap, Landolpha. Chemical analysis of the fruit is collected by Mako indicated that they could not be the Mokèlé-mbèmbé's only food source, as the fruit is too low in fiber and protein to support a non-ruminant, and probably as also too low for ruminant animals. Um, I never could figure out how to use Twitch. I'm too yeah. It's trust me, I'm not far from you. It's all this stuff, even like the stuff that Roxanne's trying to help me with right now. It's I don't know what's going. I'm doing something wrong. Uh, Twitch has been around for many years, but initially was favored by gamers streaming live game sessions. Yeah, I've seen that too. Heck yeah, you're always watching from Virginia, David. um, I got some reports here too. Science expeditions, photographs, audio recording. Yeah, there's so yeah. Let me see, let me get into this auto recordings. There's been photographs of this thing. Um, oh, never mind. There's audio recordings and photographs of this thing too. There's this one audio recording here was taken at 11:45 on November 4th as a Kia in see this is let me read the description here. Living dinosaurs, Mokèlé-mbèmbé sound recording during his expedition to Lake Tivoli. Herman record nominous audio they believed to be a Mokèlé-mbèmbé roaring. He described the events leading up to the recording in his journal, African Library Notes paper. Investigated the southernmost lobe of the lake. An extraordinary and loud animal cry was heard. It came from the jungle along the shore of the lobe and seemed to be not more than 40 to 50 meters into the thicket. The cry can best be described as starting with a low, windy roar, then increased into a deep throated trumpet growl. Some sounds of the large beast making through the bush are clearly distinguishable. As it moved away from us further into the swamp, the roar reoccurred in about 5 minutes and then was not heard again. The Congolese attributed it as the source of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. Attempts to record the sound on several occasions resulted only in rather poor quality productions, owning to the high level of foreground noises. Oh, no kidding! I don't watch the news, Penny, so I didn't know that. Um, I'm going. This guy's name, I'm messing it up. As the guy was talking about this recording, Reguster claimed that after being analyzed by several authorities, the recording, which had believed to have captured multiple Mokele-mbembe vocalizations, could not be identified with any known African animal. However, Reguster's recording is controversial as the Mokele-mbembe is said to vocalize rarely. Because of this, Bill Gibbons suggests that Roasters had actually recorded the vocalizations of an Imla Natuka. And I can tell you now, just because something is rare, don't mean you won't ever catch it. Yeah, I don't even I news. I stay away from news as much as possible. There's too much bull crap in it. Too much stuff to make a person get down, and I don't like being down. So there's actually several reports of or several sightings of this thing. Several cryptozoologists believe an account of a large animal in the western Congo to be very early Mokele-mbembe report. The account appears in Abbott Levin Bonventure Proyart's 1730 or 1743 to 1808. Man, I can't speak French either. So Histoire de Lango, Congo et Artus Romanus de Afrique in 1776. According to Proyart, missionaries in the West Africa had reported the existence of a very large animal based on the tracks they had discovered. And this is quote per Proyart. The missionaries observed passing along a forest the trail of an animal that was not seen but which must have been monstrous. The marks of the claws were noted on the ground, and these formed a print about 3 feet in circumference. The arrangement of the impressions indicated that the animal was walking, not running. The distance between the footprints measured 7 to 8 feet in length. So the movie died because of a massive shark wound. I knew what you meant. Yeah, that sucks. I have no TV access at all since I lost my other half. I have a phone and the internet. Only those are on special program. I could lose both anytime. Yeah, I mean, I've got TV. I got rid of Dish. No worries, Roxanne. I knew what you meant, but I had to give you a hard time. Um, yeah, I've got internet. If I want to watch something on the boob tube, I'll watch it on the internet. And I've got an antenna outside I hooked up the other day. So if I want to catch something locally, I can catch it. Other than that, I ain't got. I get enough stuff sent to me throughout the day that really don't have time. I mean, between my books and everything else, I just don't have time. Let alone, I just don't want to feel down. I mean, me personally, I've noticed I've been a lot happier and a lot more motivated since I've gotten away from the TV than I have when I was watching it all the time. Oh, is that just today, Roxanne? I'm just kidding you. I get you, man. I am too. Because I'm trying to get my body get ready for nights. I'll start nights tomorrow. That's why I'm doing the show today instead of tomorrow. So I'm trying to get my body in the mood for that. And I'm like, I've been dragging butt. I did finish chapter 12 today on my book and started chapter 13. And I did go through and get my part of the editing done on chapter 12. I did have to go through and change up a lot of, or like Dorchester. My previous research suggested that Dorchester wasn't a village that was taken over during the Great Heathen Army, but I picked another village that would be. I love documentaries, Penny. I love watching those. I like watching the Discovery Channel. I like watching that stuff. I'll be getting back to your message this evening, brother. The Bizarre and the Unknown didn't forget about you. No worries, bro. No worries. It's been a weekend of holidays. I'm not too I'm not too worried, bro. Um, in 1929 through 1980, the Mokèlé-mbèmbé was first reported by the German colonial officer Ludwig Freiherr von Stein zu Lewinson, 1868 to 1943, who in 1913 came out of retirement to lead the Lakalu Congo expedition to what is now part of the Northern Republic of the Congo, but was then part of the German colony of Cameroon. Stein was forced to turn back on the Sangoa River due to an outbreak of the First World War in 1914. And his account of the zoological and botanical side of the expedition was therefore never published. However, he did send his unpublished data to the German writer and naturologist Wilhelm Bosch in 1861 to 1939, who was then working on a study of dragons. Uh, Darkan Sage und Naturwische, sorry, Naturwissenschaft, 1929, in which he was to argue that the historical survival of dinosaurs and other prehistoric reptiles may have inspired such legends. Bosch subsequently included Stein's notes on the Mokèlé-mbèmbé in the works Romantic Zoologist Willie Lee, who had corresponded with Bosch, also acquired a copy of Stein's manuscript, which he translated and published in English in the Dodo, the Lungfish, and the Unicorn, 1948. Stein's description of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé came independently from guides in religious regions of the lower Umbenge, Senga, and Iklamba rivers, all who gave consistent accounts. Stein regarded the Mokèlé-mbèmbé with caution, referring to it as a very mysterious thing, which possibly does not exist except in the imagination of the natives. However, he believed that it was probably based on something more tangible, although a number of alternative renderings of the cryptid's name have since been recorded. Stein's original spelling, Mokèlé-mbèmbé, has stuck. And this is quote: the creature is reported to live in the smaller rivers like the two Liculas, and in the rivers mentioned, only a few individuals are said to exist. At the time of our expedition, a specimen was reported from the navigable part of the Sanga River. However, between the two rivers, Mobayo and Picandoa, unfortunately, it is part of the river that could not be explored due to the Paraxcu end of the expedition. We also heard about an alleged animal that the Sosombo River, the narratives, or excuse me, the narratives of the natives resulted in general description that runs as follows. The animal is said to be of a brownish gray color with smooth skin. Its size is approximately that of an elephant, at least that of a hippopotamus. It is said to have a long and very flexible neck and only one tooth, but the very long one, some say, is a horn. A few spoke of about a long muscular tail like that of an alligator. Canoes coming near it are said to be doomed. The animal is said to attack the vessel at once and kill the crew without eating the bodies. The creature is said to live in the caves that have been washed out by the river and the clay in the shores at sharp bends. It is said to climb the shore even at daytime in search for food. Its diet said is entirely vegetation. The featured the feature disagrees with a possible explanation of the myth. The preferred plant was shown to me. It is a kind of liana with a large white blossom, a milky sap, and an apple-like fruit. At the Sosombo River, I was shown a path said to have been made by the animal in order to get at its food. The path was fresh, and there were plants of the described type nearby. But since they were too many tracks of elephants, hippos, and other large animals, it was impossible to make out a particular spur with any amount of clarity. Uh, I haven't found that yet, Roxanne. The closest one I found was that first one I'd read from. Let me get back to it. From the 17. He lived from 1743 to 1808. Um, he had an expedition in 1776. My mouth's getting dry. Stein also transmitted certain comments on the Mokèlé-mbèmbé made in his expedition's diary to Bosch, but these were not published. According to the entry on the upper Senga at the Bomasa, the Nizum people gave an identical description of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé in contrast. Some Fula people from the Kagura reign of northern Cameroon claim that the very similar but rare animal exists in the Benue River in the far north of the Cameroon, part of the Niger. Yeah, well, I can't say that word on YouTube. I'll get in trouble. The Hoo-Ha Basin. We'll just put it at that. In 1943, an anonymous Belgian described a similar animal in the longer travel articles for Avenir Colonel Belge, which was later reprinted in the French periodical El Étoile de 1 AEFF. According to the man's story, of such animals were current around the Great Lakes and uh, Uli Basin in the northeast, Katanga in the southeast, and the Bengola in the northwest. Still, his personal knowledge of the cryptid came from accounts received in the Kasi Basin to the south of the usual Mokli Bimbe zone. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think you guys know what river I'm talking about. I just can't say it on YouTube because we got to be politically correct. Uh, They all in the Sankey were. They call it in the Sankey when they describe it. It's black. Oh, I can't say it. Working. Never mind. It exceeds to the tallest trees. So we got to figure what time frame this is being written in. So I had to catch myself there for a second. It exceeds to the tallest trees. The body is like that of a formidable ox with a large tail. Its neck is immense and ends in a rather small head on which it has large crest like a coxcomb. It dwells in the swamps and swims at a very great speed. In Kasi, I've even heard of a native chief who jealously guarded the trail of a brontosaurus. Another German explorer, the magistrate Leo von Boxberg, 1879 to 1950, also contributed to Stein's information in a 1938 article in the um, periodical Umsku entitled "In." I can't speak German, so we're going to pass that up. Which Mackel regarded as very sketchy but important. My own contributions to the subject is unfortunately very small. At the mouth of the Mubam in Sengoa in the central Cameroons and on the team in southern Cameroons, I collected a variety of data from the natives about the mysterious water beast. Still, alas, all my notes and also the local descriptions of the animals were lost in Spanish uh, when the Pangui attacked the caravan carrying a few belongings. All I can report in the name of Mokèlé-mbèmbé given to the animal is in southern Cameroon. Hey, William, how's it going, brother? I'm a fluffy dinosaur. Get back up here to your comments. I am scared of a fluffy dinosaur. I am a fluffy dinosaur, yeah. Lil- William Rar. So you're seeing a very common depiction amongst all these people. I mean, reports going back to the 1800s and up. It's the depiction is very similar in every single one of them. And as you can tell, it's not just strictly a water creature; it goes on land too, which it lends credence to the cephalopod type dinosaur, especially the one with the spine or the spikes on the back, which is also one of the common depictions. Come here, you know where to go. If you don't, you're going to knock your head. You're going to bump your noggin. Ow. Ooh, dude, watch what you're doing. You got claws, bro. Told you he'd be up here for too long, Penny. 9. I'm trying to talk. Okay, I lost my spot here. Oh, I read that part because I can't say that part because of YouTube. The belief in the gigantic water animal described as a reptile with a long, thin neck exists among the natives throughout the southern Cameroons. Wherever they are, or wherever from part of whatever part of the Congo they're from, basin or the basin, and also or the Congo basin, and also to the west of the area. Doubtless, whoever the great rivers are bordered and deep and are flanked by virgin forest. There you go. That goes right into what we was talking about. Yeah, he does. I mean, there we go. Like we was talking about earlier. You know, the fact that the if I remember right, the Congo is at least a 3 canopy jungle. So you're talking about virgin forest here. So the forest that has not been touched by man yet. So the fact that it can support such a large animal is very very possible because if you got all this stuff here, I mean it's untouched. I mean very well I should say untouched is very little touched. So, having a brontosaurus sized dinosaur is not out of the realm of possibility. It's really not. Um, oh, see, following the First World War, German Cameroon was divided between the French and the British, with the French taking possession of the range from which the Mokèlé-mbèmbé was reported during his attempt to establish the etymology of the name Mokèlè-mbèmbè. The French anthropologist and linguist Pierre Alexander. He was born in 1922, died in 1994. A regular correspondent of the Bernard Hevelemans, or whatever. I can't speak French either, besides ooh la la, merci beaucoup. Was told by around 30 young Colonese people from both sides of the river that the Mokele-mbembe was a species of a giant crocodile. One man present said that it was actually a legendary beast. Still, the others immediately reject this with reports of sightings, all of them secondhand from Cameroon, to the center of what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Hey, Ryan keeps posting pictures of me telling everyone that I'm not real hairy. Laugh flat out. He's not seen me since unshaven and hair down. I'm a fluffy, hairy man without my coffee. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah, man. In 1960, Alexander communicated firsthand information on these similar animal from the Daja River to Bernard, and I can't go say his name, having made the connection between it and the Mokele-mbembe while reading on the track of the unknown animal, 1955. During a tour of the Daja, Alexander discovered that the Zaman people refused to take canoes out onto the open water of the river out of fear of an unnamed monster. The animal was described as having a long neck, at least as long as 6 feet. As long as six Alexander, six of Alexander's legs, a head like a big turtle, hard on the scaly skin, and the body initially compared to a car, a machine with which Zaman were only curiously familiar with. Pressed further on the monster's size, they stated that it was much larger than a 200-liter gasoline barrel, but similar to that of an elephant. It was alleged to live in the deep water, coming out only during the night, and left tracks that shape the shape of the size of a large puddle. While it did not eat people, it was feared for its habits of overturning canoes and drowning occupants. So, see, I mean, there you go again. You got another instant right there of why these people in the Congos fear the Mokele-mbembe, because it's. I mean, now devil's advocate on this. Hippos are very well known for doing the exact same thing, but they're also very well known for killing humans as well. So I can't dispute the fact that some of these encounters may be hippos, because hippos have a very similar characteristic of doing this very same thing. The difference is the ones that actually see it, they said it had the long neck and long tail. Obviously, that's not a hippo. And in most of your descriptions, it's bigger than hippo. And then, like I said earlier in the show, when you're getting multiple types of encounters of different sizes, that could be because there's a family group and there's different sizes within that family group. Why are all these creatures always so jacked up looking when described? Yeah. Well, if you seen the clip to my show whenever I was getting it ready. That is the most common depiction found of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. And people, there has been stories of of the locals defending themselves from this thing. He generally likes to run, but it can be aggressive. And if it is a dinosaur, it could have gotten um, used to the fact of being run to getting away from humans because humans mean death. Chinese food. I haven't ate. Well, I ate earlier. Yeah, I got some steaks I'm going to make here in a little bit. Um, Dr. Perry Nguyen, who was stationed in French Equatorial, whatever, Africa, 1958 to 1959, gave a significant testimony, apparently referring to the Mokèlé-mbèmbé after a journey across the swamp from the Im- Impofondo and Ipona. Um, Nagin and his party arrived at a small village near the Cameroon border, where elderly villagers told him that, and they quoted saying, "According to the tradition transmitted by the parents of their parents, in these swamps of Lake Teli would live a beast that looks like an enormous pangolin. They told me that if it crossed the arm of the Lacula oaks, um, Herbies at the post of Epona, its tail would still drag the shore as its and its forelegs would have reached the opposite bank, which would give the length about 20 meters. Man, you're putting it right back into that brontosaurus style stuff right there. Yes, that's true. I forgot about that. The Titana boa giant snake has been seen in the same area. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah. Um, if I remember correctly on that, that is even supposed to surpass the size of an anaconda, a giant anaconda. I've had about 2 gallons of water today, but no food yet. Not hungry. You got to get something in there. I force myself to eat because if I don't, then I'll wind up in a lot of trouble, and there ain't no one here to help me out of that trouble. Walfred Ted Roth, there's a name Roth, former general curator of the Smithsonian. Huh, William Roth, former historian at the curator at the Smithsonian. Um, Dang, give me a second, guys. My daughter's texting. Um, but I mean, that's kind of interesting that a Roth um, has in control of the Smithsonian. We all know what happens when Smithsonian gets its hands on certain things. If it looks like a pangolin, it has to be a prehistoric, like a throwback. Yeah, I found a site that said it was reported in 1929. Yep, I mean we got reports far back as the 1700s. So yeah, I mean there's several reports. I'm already up into the just a little over the 1950. Yeah, I'm at 1959 right now. I mean, there's all the other ones were prior to that. Um, Curator of the Smithsonian Natural Zoological Park and a member of the Ivan T. Sanderson Society for the Investigations of the Unexplained, claimed to have received a description of a Mokèlé-mbèmbé like animal from the Benin, the details of which published in Pursuit in January 1970 during the expedition to the marshy western affluence of the um, o- Owinyemi River in 1959. Roth's Waki guides refused to cross a swamp for fear of the animals. The Miki Nibi, possibly a contraction of the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. Upon returning to the nearby village, the local chief, who spoke poor English, told him that the swamp was home to a water elephant, which were not related to normal elephants. He described these animals as far larger than elephants, with long necks described as a trunk coming out of the body, featuring a small head, a flat paddle like forelimbs, and large whip like tail. The Miki Nibi was not supposed to kill men, feeding on herbs and small trees, but it would trample them to death. Roth drew a picture of a manatee for the chief, who said that the body was the Mickey Nabi was similar, but the neck was much larger or much longer, and the head was more like the that of a minotaur lizard. Yeah, I get you. I eat once or twice a day. Um, definitely prayers to you, my brother. Definitely prayers to you, brother William. Um, Now we got some recent reports of this too. This is from 1980 to 2000. Modern interest in the Mokle-mbembe was sparked by a series of international and local expeditions beginning in 1980, but having their origins in the 1970s with James Powell's investigation into the Ninala in Gabon. Powell was a herpetologist who was in Africa to study crocodiles, but was having an interest in cryptozoology after reading on the track of unknown animals. He also made inquiries about unknown animals. Bernard's utilized Powell's early research in the Les Derniers or Derners Dragoons d'Afrique in 1978, which covered the Mokle-mbembe and other neo-dinosaurs, but advised Powell to turn his investigations east. Powell also heard that also shared his data with Roy P. Mackle, who was a subsequent book searching for hidden animals, 1980, and included a chapter on the Nyalamala and the Mokele-mbembe, like that one cat. I can't say his French name. Mackle concluded that the best place for a search for no dinosaurs would be further east in the or neo dinosaurs would be to the further east in the northern Pacific of the Congo, where Stein had originally heard of the Mokele-mbembe. Powell thought the Lake Tili would be a suitable region. See, well, some of these are working and some of these ain't. Hmm. Thanks for putting those up, Roxanne. This is from Mackle. In 1980, Mackle and Powell traveled the northern Republic of the Congo as far as Epina to collect primarily information on the Mokele-mbembe. Still, their investigations were hampered by their limited visa. At Impafanda, they received critical help from an American missionary, Eugene Thomas, who would go on to help several Mokèlé-mbèmbé expeditions. It was soon established that the locals of the Mponda were familiar with the Mokèlé-mbèmbé, and one informant, a young man named Jakim Makia, gave them a detailed description of its alleged disruption. It is the animal of the water. My father knew this animal and always spoke the truth. It has been seen in Mbangi to the south, where there is a big bend in the river and a vortex. Also, there is another place where there are many rocks on one side of the Ubangi, and I do not think anyone has seen anyone has seen it at these places just now. But in the Pana district to the west, there are reports of this animal right now. You must speak with the pygmies. They travel in the jungle. They know. They have lots of courage and go to places Africans would never dare to go. They know the truth about the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. The name Mokèlé-mbèmbé is not given to a non existent animal of that. You can be assured. So, I mean, you can tell how much these Congo people truly believe in the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. I mean, just by the way they're describing this stuff. Man, I still got a lot more pages of reports to go. Um, got Herman registered 1933, 2005. Okay, here's yeah, she's home. Go say hi. Go say hi. Nine, not so loud. Go in the living room. Say hi to her. Yeah, go on. A little turd butt. Yes, thank you, William. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. Um, so in 1983, he's vocal. He's vocal. So hey, Roxanne, in 1983 is this one where they're talking about they observed the cryptid for himself at Lake Tili, and this is Marcelin Agnaga, colonies biologist Marcelin, I can't say last name, accompanied several early Mokèlé-mbèmbé expeditions and claimed to have observed the cryptid for himself in Lake Tili. The first local colonies investigation into the Mokèlé-mbèmbé, occurred in the spring of 1983 when that guy there, that Marcelin, led the team from the Ministry of the Water and Forest to the Lake Tili. For 2 months, Marcelin controversially claimed that he had seen and attempted but failed to photograph a Mokèlé-mbèmbé during this expedition. He also interviewed elephant hunter Emmanuel Mangumila, who had previously reported an enormous trail to the Mokèlé expedition. He took Marcelin to the spot where fresh tracks were discovered. He claimed that he had to have observed the Mokèlé-mbèmbé emerging from the water or feeding on vegetation on 3 separate occasions since the departure. Let me shut that door, guys. Hold on. He is not going to quit. Hey, Melissa. He is not going to quit. I apologize, guys. He is very bad about doing that. 9. Stope. Stope. 9. It's 9. That's enough. Sorry, guys. She let him in the room. Aiden. Hoping to obtain hard evidence, Reguster announced plans for a second expedition to Lake Tele in late 1984. He was to be accompanied by Kia Reguster's writer John Sack, paleontologist John Rajic, geologist David Jort, and entomologist David Evans. Razak was also a creationist and was touted by the Institute of Creation Research, which hoped that that discovery of a living dinosaur would overturn the theory of evolution as the only creationist in the group. However, Augustus was unable to obtain the funding he required. Oh, sorry. How long do you think a dinosaur's lifespan was or is? It's hard to say. Honestly, I don't know if we can accurately come up with a good answer on that. We truly do not know. The only things we know about them, obviously, because of the fossil records, they existed, but there's also the theory that humans and them never existed is blown out of the water because there's several fossilized creek beds with dinosaur footprints and human footprints side by side. And the fact that all over the world, including Mesoamerica, have carvings and depictions of dinosaurs and them and people riding dinosaurs on them. So that is the several things. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, a little bit of an emergency there. A couple of the kittens died. Their mama hasn't been taking care of them. So, looks what's been reported in Siberia. Anything could be true. I mean, there's plenty of reports in northern regions and extreme colds of woolly mammoths still being around. Lamar even wrote about it in his very first Sackett series book. Yeah, I'll have to take care of that. The mama's not been doing very good, so I got tired of her ignoring the kittens. So I locked her up in my daughter's room, hoping that she'd take care of them. Thanks. But it looks like she still ain't. Yeah. You decided to go live Monday morning. I have a new research info on shape shifting begins. Okay, that sounds great, bro. Sounds real great. Where was I? Sorry, that's kind of a bad deal. But anyways, I mean, you got so many of these creatures out there. I mean, Nessie, Ogopogo. I mean, look how many reports of Megalodon have been around. Look at new reports from NASA's little underwater cameras showing at was the mesosaur is still around. I mean, there's so many stuff out there suggest that these are possibilities that I'm a firm believer that the Mokèlé-mbèmbé could very, very well be a living dinosaur. Oh, Jesse, or Jesse Champ. Um, Guys, I apologize. Let me cut this off. I need to go take care of this. Um, yeah, my daughter's a little upset about it. She just got home. I apologize. I will continue this. We'll just plan on continuing this next week on the Mokèlé-mbèmbé. Um, I hope you guys could forgive me. So, till tomorrow morning, catch a Williams show. Um, I'll see you guys. Peace, love, and prosper.